Hello and welcome. Today we are going to see Soffront CRM version 10. We are going to try to understand how to utilize the Soffront tools to create new tables and understand how to build relationships between tables. Now, let us take a look at a table and try to understand what it is to begin with. First of all, a table is nothing more than a repository of data. So what we are looking at, for instance, is the account record within an account table. So this is a single record residing in the accounts table. Now, with this account, we have other tables available right here on the top. For instance, we have contacts, which are residing in the contacts table, notes, which are basically the history residing in the notes table, all of which are related to the main table, which is the accounts. So there can be multiple tables or repositories within the CRM database, and each of which are linked to one another. So today we will try to understand how to create these tables and establish the relationship between each other so that when we are looking at one table, for instance, accounts, and looking at a company record, we would be able to track the related contact information, notes, opportunities, tickets, and so on, which are basically related tables to BCD Corp. So how do we create tables, new ones, in the Soffront CRM database? Let's go in and access the admin panel, admin console, or setup on the Soffront CRM. In order to do so, we click on the upper right-hand corner where we see the name and username, administrator or admin, or any user who has admin permissions. So we click on Setup, and we access the admin panel, admin console of the Soffront CRM. Here we have a tree where it has a lot of different menus which you can expand. For our interest, we would expand project setup. Now right here, immediately you would notice that there is a menu for tables, and when we click on that, we get all the tables which are there in the CRM database. So all the existing tables which are there, including the ones that you have created, would all be there in this interface. You would be able to sort the tables by name. You can filter the tables right here by alphabets. You can filter them out. So what you're seeing here is the table name and the different fields which are there in the table. So essentially, these are the fields which are residing in the backend database for this table. So it just gives you an overview. Now, if you wanted, there are two things that you can do over here: create a table or delete a table. And you would also be able to clean up data, which is you can clean up. If you wanted to start with a clean slate, you can clean up data from the table as well. But today, for everybody's interest, we are going to take a look at how we are going to create a table, or even we can take it one step further, copy a table. So in order to copy or create a table, we would always use the plus sign, which is new. So when we click over here, the system gives us this very, very simple UI where you define the name of a table. So here, the table name has a limitation of number of characters. So you can add a couple of different characters up to 10. 10 is the most recommended one. So now you can copy any table within the CRM database, and you would be able to pick up any table and copy that table. Now observe, when I want to copy a table, there's a message which popped up. It says, warning, any external fields will not be cloned. So that is a warning that is needed for all our users. So what it means is if your table or, let's look at it as a form, has any fields, let's say in this account, if there are any fields which is populating data from another table within the CRM database, those will not be cloned. So if we wanted to create a table, that's all the steps that we need. Once we have selected it, we hit save and we are done. The table will be created. If we did not want to create a table, copy a table and just wanted to create something from the very scratch, we just, let me just give it a name, test table. And we just hit save and a new table. It should not have any spaces, so we should hit save and our test table is created. It will be available under T. There it is, test table. And as you can see, there is no fields available under this test table. So that's how we create tables. Now, we need to understand this table that we created, we did not create any fields. How do we go ahead and add these fields? For that, you would be utilizing the Forms Designer tool, which we have covered in our earlier videos. So you would be going to the Forms Designer DHTML, select the test table there, and start adding fields, which will automatically build the user interface for you and add the fields in the back end. So that's how you add fields. So it is utilizing the Forms Designer. Now that we've seen how to create table and we've understood how to create fields, let us try to see how do we link one table to another table. So Soffront actually has many-to-many relationships built in, so you can have multiple records linked to a single entity. Let's take a very simple example. One company, let's say BCD Corp, can have many contacts. Let's say Atano, let's say Ming, and people like that. And one of the contacts can be a part-time employee, and that contact can belong to another company. Now, in such a situation, applications tend to create duplicate contacts and things like that. But in Soffront, you can link the same contact with multiple accounts, and that's where the many-to-many relationship comes into picture. So let's try to see how to create a relationship. So in order to create a relationship, we would be clicking on relations. And when we click on relation, we access the relation management section of the system, where we can select a parent, and usually by default it shows all the child. You can select a specific child if you are interested in that. Now what you're seeing on the screen is the parent record, which we all parent object or table and its child table on the next column, and you are seeing the child label. So essentially you can build a table named TR event and then call it activities for users to, because it might be confusing for users when they see TR event. So they might be more, it would be much easier for them to understand activities. So you could change the label right here. Then you could also see which form is going to be utilized primarily. If you have not defined anything on the workflow, or if there is no workflow defined for a specific object, in that case the form, which is defaulted over here, is utilized. Then you would see the groups, the different groups who would be utilizing this specific relationship. Now, if there are certain groups excluded from this relationship, they would not be able to see this relationship. So for instance, when you're looking at BCD Corp and there are a few groups excluded, they would not be able to see the activities associated with BCD Corp. So that's how you control groups, group permissions for specific sub-objects. There are a lot of ways of controlling permissions. This is just one of them since we are in this context. Now, let's take a look at the flags. This is very important. There are three types of flags which are available for use in this management section. So here, there are three. These flags are the add, search, and unlink. Now, we are going to take a look at all three of them. So add will let you add new records. Search will let you find and link information to something exists to the parent. For instance, let's say we have account and contact as a child object. So the system will let me, so since search is available, the system will let me search for different contacts and link that to the account. For instance, if I am in BCD Corp, I would be able to search for other contacts in different other organizations and link them to the BCD Corp. Now, in the same context, you should be able to unlink certain contacts without necessarily deleting them from the database. So you would be able to unlink a contact from one account and still maintain the link with another account. So that's the purpose of unlink right here. So once we click on unlink, a contact can be unlinked from any parent record. So now let's see if we wanted to create a relationship, how do we do that? If we wanted to modify something, how we would go about doing that. So let's say if you wanted to modify it, very simple, you would click on edit and you are given this very simple interface where you already see that the parent is defined. You have the child selected over here. You can change the label, let's say instead of contacts, so you can say contact person. So you can change the label there if you wanted to. Then you can control which group is going to have access to this. So for instance, I have all these groups. You can add or hit down the control button on your keyboard, select another group, and it would be added. Then you have the flags over here where you can decide to give only add, link, or you just simply select all of them. So that's how we define or edit a child record, and we hit save. This is the relationship would be updated. Now, what if we wanted to create a new one? So let's exit out of this screen. In order to exit, we simply have this button over here which says close. So we are out of there. And if you wanted to create a brand new relationship, we just click on the plus sign and we select the parent. We select a child. Can be anything we already have, accounts and contacts and things like that. So we can select, let's say, assets. You can give assets. So you essentially are dynamically creating relationships as you go along. So I select this, and I decide that all these groups are going to use it, and I just want to let users add. I do not want them to link and unlink. So if I hit save, my relationship will be created. So that is how we would be creating and modifying new relationships. Now let us take a look and try to understand the linking and unlinking concept which we just went through right now. So let's take BCD Corp, and we were looking at contacts, and we discussed linking and unlinking. This is very, very powerful. So link over here is an icon which, if you have the permission enabled, lets you link multiple contacts. So I have many contacts in the CRM database. So if I wanted to link this contact, I simply link it to existing BCD Corp. see the company name is different over here. Now, if I wanted to unlink this contact from BCD Corp, but still maintain its relationship with Test Co. Inc., I simply go over here, and there is something called Unlink, which will unlink this contact. So now that we have seen how to create a table, have some fields on it, and link a table to other tables so that we can track information together versus searching tables separately. So that's why we are able to accomplish things like just searching for BCD Corp. We are able to see all the contacts, notes, opportunities, quotes, attachments, and so on. So that's all we have time for today. Be sure to tune in on our next session where we will cover some more interesting topics on the Soffront CRM tools.